How's it going, everybody? This is Beat the Bush. This is the Browey C300 portable power station. This is a 284 watt-hour power station. It is lithium-ion battery based rather than lithium iron phosphate. If you take energy out of the AC adapter port, you're going to get about 80% of the capacity that's shown on this thing. So 80% of 284, it's going to be 227 watt hours. The AC output port is capable of 300 watts. So if you use it at its maximum, you'll likely be able to use it at 45 minutes at the full 300 watts. However, when I went and discharged it at 300 watts, I only got a runtime of 36 minutes and 23 seconds. The total usable capacity stands at 190 watt hours, about 17% less than what I expected. And because of this, I would treat this power station more like a 240 watt hour power station rather than the 284 watt hours it claims. If you take it out of the DC ports, you may get something around 90 to 95% of the usable capacity, which is a lot better. Therefore, if you have any kind of DC equipment that can be powered with DC rather than AC, you should do that instead. Discharging at 10 amps from the car adapter port, I got a total of 211 watt hours. Usually, power stations lose about 5% of capacity when discharging from DC ports. So I expected around 270 watt hours, but instead I got 211 watt hours, 21.9% less than expected, which means that the internal cell capacity is probably a little bit short. And on top of that, the DC converter is probably not as efficient as it should be. And when I charged this power station from 0 to 100%, I used a total of 277 watt hours from the wall. Due to inefficiencies in the AC power adapter, I expect about 249 watt hours to go straight into the battery. Since this is rated at 284 watt hours, I'm getting about 12.4% less than expected capacity. They won the 2022 German IF Design Award. I believe this is actually for their other product, which is a slightly different version of this thing. It's bigger, and I think mainly for incorporating a built-in solar panel into the power station itself. That is the unique thing about it. This power station is a bit unlike all the other ones I've seen, which is it's using a lithium ion battery internally rather than the lithium iron phosphate. That's why when you look at the cycle life, it says greater than 500 times. So cycle life is not looking very good. This is more on the order of what you see in consumer electronics, kind of like in your phone. And these things are going to last about 2 to 3 years or so if you keep on using it. When you look at the pricing, usually I look at how much capacity are you getting, because most of the costs you're going to be paying is for the batteries inside. But this thing has a solar panel here. It's 30 watts altogether. And generally for power stations, you're looking at paying anywhere between 50 cents to $1 per watt hour. So naturally, this is a 284 watt hour power station. So it's going to be at least $284 plus a little bit more because it includes solar panels. Right now, there's a bit of light on the solar panel, so it like turned itself on right here. It says 1 watt, but you can easily just kind of fold this up and it's not going to have solar power anymore, and then it turns itself off. Operation is pretty easy. You just push the AC button to turn on the AC, which is this sole connector over here, your AC outlet. 300 watts maximum, 600 peak, meaning that it can peak very momentarily, just for like a split second at 600 watts and then go back to 300 watts. And then the DC, you just push this to turn on the DC output. It's all of these connectors here, the car adapter, these 12 volt barrel plugs, these USB-C and quick charge 3.0 USB-A ports. All of these DC ports is controlled by the DC button. You just push it once and it turns on and off. The use case of this thing is mainly for emergency purposes. On a winter day, you might get like 10 watts out of it. So even in the specifications, it says to fully charge this thing from 0 to 100%, you might need about 30 hours of this thing in the sun. 30 hours, that's about 2.5 days sitting outside. So in an emergency, you can get a little bit of power out of this thing. Maybe you can charge your phone, but definitely you're not going to be able to use all 284 watt hours out of this thing daily. It may be up to maybe 100 watt hours or so. Definitely enough to charge maybe 1 or 2 phones or maybe an iPad even, but that's about it. I just want to be very clear about what you can expect from something with a solar panel. Just because it has one doesn't mean that it's going to be like completely free energy. You just stick it out in the sun every single day. You can just discharge it as much as you want. Let me go back and unbox this, show you what's included, and also show you a close-up of the front panel. Nothing else inside the box. Pull the back kickstand out so that it can lean backwards. I reviewed another Browey before where it only had 2 solar panels here and here, but this one, it tries to have even more solar panels by sort of folding it in like this. And there are little magnetic things here to hold it in place after you folded it on there. It clicks together and you fold this back onto itself, sort of like an origami thing where you can fold out all these solar panels. This is the business end of the power station. We can pull these little rubber things off to reveal the plugs. Unfortunately, they're a little bit floppy, so you gotta pull them out in order to plug anything in. It doesn't really sort of tuck its way open. Press the display and it'll turn on 99% full right now. This one has a power delivery 60 watt USB-C output, 2 quick charge 3.0 that are both 18 watts together. There's a 12 volt input barrel plug and 2 12 volt output barrel plugs. We can reveal the AC output port here. So we can turn this AC output port just by pressing it. It's up to 300 watts. Let me cover these back up first. You gotta kind of massage these little rubber things back on in order for it to stay. Same thing with the AC plug. So let's reveal the DC plug here, the car outlet. Operation is pretty easy. You just press it once. You don't have to press and hold anything. Let me show you what I mean when the LCD is a little bit cut off. The camera is located a little bit higher than the power station. So if I turn on the AC, turn on the DC, you see what I mean here? It's a little bit hard to see, but if you kind of come down a little bit and look upwards, yeah, you can see the letters now. The Browey line tends to be very rugged. There's all these little cushion at every single corner and right into center here for extra padding. If you roll it forward, there's 2 more padding here. I'm not sure if you really need that one unless you have it upside down like this. The top handle is rubberized on both sides, but it's not rubberized right at the bottom or at the top. So when you grab onto this, I can still feel that it's a little hard right in the center right here. Let me show you a better angle of this. This is hard plastic right there. Let me show you guys the accessory pack. Unzip it. Interestingly, it only unzips from here to here rather than from all the way around, so you can flip it open. So I can flip it open partially. Let me take all this stuff out first. Comes with the user manual, 60 watt AC power adapter that comes out to a barrel connector. This barrel connector goes and plugs into the input. This is how you charge it through here. This car adapter cable will also plug in there to charge your power bank. It also comes with this DC cable so you can plug into the output and the other end into other things that is powered by 12 volts. Also included is this extra accessory in case you want to use this 60 watt power adapter for other things. It comes with a range of all these DC barrel plugs. You just remove one of them, and this is the female end to the power adapter, like that. Plug it in to see it charge. It shows it's using 60 watts from the AC power adapter. And the AC adapter is pulling 67 watts out of the wall. In this case, it's about 90% efficient. I've plugged in a separate power station that will allow me to draw 200 or 300 watts. Let's turn on the AC and see what happens. The AC output port turns on, and now my power station starts drawing power. 33 watts. 100, 200 watts, and we can hear the fan is turned on this power station. Let me put the mic next to it. You can kind of hear it, it's not too loud. I'm going to increase it to 300 watts to make sure it can handle it. Right there, 299.3 watts. The Browey says is using 306 watts. It's a good thing that it's not too sensitive and trip itself. I'm going to increase it to 400 watts. Right there, it's 400 and it stopped. That's a good thing. So I'm gonna decrease it back down to 300. Let's see if it can recover on its own. I just turned on the AC. It's ramping up the wattage again. 43 watts, 200, 300. It electronically turns itself off, and there's a resettable fuse over here. Whenever the fan turns on, the little fan icon turns on as well over here. Thanks for watching this video. If you guys are interested in getting one of these for yourself, check out my affiliate link down in the video description below.